What's up, everyone out there in internet land? I'm Vinny,
I'm Joe.
and welcome back to the Retro Grab Bag Show, the 4th of July weekend special.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also, welcome back, Joe, to the Retro Game Studio. First time since quarantine, right?
Yeah, first time since I think we did the Sonic video was the last time.
Yeah,
we
you're
were
right.
Down here. So
Well, and I think that was like the last movie that was like big
yeah,
before everything just shut the.
that was the last movie we were at. So I mean, I know we came right after the movie and did a review, and I believe that was whenever that movie came out. So February,
Yeah.
March. But yeah,
Yep.
once March hit here in PA, we pretty much got shut down, and so yeah, we've just been hunkering down. But now things are starting to let up a little, so
Yeah.
we figured we'd get back to it.
Well, and that's right. We're going to get back to our Jaws tradition, which last year we played Jaws on NES for about 30 minutes, and I got my ass kicked the whole time. You can go back and look at that if you want.
Mm-hmm.
So we're actually going to talk about now the Jaws film franchise. So the first Jaws is the classic. It came out in 1975, adapted from the novel by Peter Benchley.
Mm-hmm.
I know we were talking about that a little bit a couple days ago.
Yep.
So, Joe, the beginning of this film actually starts where when Brody's walking through town, you see a lot of 4th of July
Mm-hmm.
stuff. They don't really talk about it, though.
No.
But we do associate this as a 4th of July film because, like, it looks like the town is rehearsing for that. So by the end of the movie, it's probably past the 4th.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not happening that weekend.
I know
but
the big concern was that they were going to have to shut the beaches
Yes.
down full 4th of July. So,
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, I don't really remember them, saying today is 4th of July. So, but it's all within that realm. So,
Yeah.
that is a good question. When did they do their thing?
How
with that movie?
how many days did
Yeah.
transpire during that, which is really cool.
Right.
And there's some conversations online about that. So you probably know this already, but famously the shark didn't work right during the making of this, so Spielberg had to reinvent the direction, and then we got this classic. Like, he went way over budget, way over time, which is great because we ended up getting not so much a monster movie, but just a fucking fantastic film all around.
Right.
So Joe, let's talk. Do you remember the first time seeing this movie as a kid?
Yeah. Obviously not in the movies because I was born in '75, so I would have been a little too young for that. But my big memory of the first time watching it was at a sleepover.
Nice.
Probably whenever VHS or whenever VCRs became mainstream.
Yeah.
I know we just like any other Friday night or Saturday night, we're walking around looking for movies, and Jaws. I don't know if it was like a big thing at that point, because '75 was when it was in the movies. When it came out on VHS, I'm sure it was popular again. But
Yeah.
it was
yeah.
it was. I just remember, it was one of the stack that we got, and I remember watching it and
That's cool.
and loving it, and because we've always gone to the beach as kids during summertime, and
Yeah.
you always wonder what's out there, and that's just a perfect movie as a kid
Oh yeah.
to watch. And I don't think I was ever really afraid of it. Some kids are, well, I don't want to watch that, but
Yeah, I think I was definitely.
Yeah, so-
That definitely gave me a fear of like the open water and whatnot.
right.
That was one of the things I was going to point out is like this movie made an impact on us as kids, and I remember us going on family vacations to the beach, where I would be thinking about this movie the whole time. On the way there, we'd probably be bullshitting about it, yada yada, and we get to the beach and we'd be like, oh, maybe Jaws is out there, and this. I think we probably watched this before we went.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it definitely left a lasting impression.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, well, I'm going to ask you, one of the greatest film scenes in film history would be, I think, the combination of Quint's story
Mm-hmm.
and the drinking song.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
fantastic is that?
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, that whole scene is perfect. I mean, I believe it starts with them looking over their tattoos and battle scars and things like that, and
Yeah.
then it rolls into the Quint story, which was epic. I mean, if you really
Oh my
sit and
God.
listen to that, it's just imagine what he's describing there with all those guys in the ocean, and then sharks coming up at you, and you're so close with that shark that you can see his eyes.
I think him saying that story is just as good as any other scene in that movie, even with the action and the scares and the that his monologue there is just
That's
as
real.
good as anything.
That's real horror right
Yeah.
there. Just imagine being put in that place.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect. And then
Yep.
like you said, it rolls into
The
the
drinking,
Show Me the Way to Go Home's drinking
Yep.
song. They're all pretty much hammered and just having a good time. And that's I just love that scene because that's just them on the boat, in early morning and just having fun. And then that's when shit gets real right after that. Because,
Jaws starts rocking the boat.
Probably one of my favorite parts of that is when you hear when they pass to outside of the boat and you see the barrel coming towards the ship.
Yep.
And you could hear them singing, obviously, in the
They're in
background,
there,
and then shit just gets real. So
Not good.
I love that whole thing, and I watch it, very often. Just just bringing that scene up on YouTube.
Oh, we're definitely watching it this weekend for sure. Yep. Oh yeah, just that scene.
Just that scene on YouTube is perfect. But yeah, the whole movie is great.
So here's an interesting thing happening right now with Jaws. COVID-19 lockdown. There's not new movies coming out in theaters, but what are the drive? Have you seen this? Drive-in theaters across the country are playing this movie, and it's making money again.
Yep. Yeah, Becky's, our local drive-in, last weekend had it.
There you go.
And like you said, they're doing a lot of 80s stuff. I think this weekend was Beetlejuice and things like that. But last week was definitely Jaws, and I kick myself for missing it because that would have been perfect.
Oh my God!
Last weekend to go see. So I'm hoping, they do it again this summer, and
they have to.
We have to go to that. Take the kids and just.
I just think it's a perfect thing for a drive-in
summer movie. Yeah.
So along those lines, there's a place in Texas. I think they started doing this a couple years ago, where you can watch Jaws on a almost like a drive-in screen, huge screen, but sitting on the open water.
Oh.
Did you know that? You could sit in an inner tube. I don't know if it's a big lake or if it's like part of the ocean. No.
Oh my God.
It's a serious thing. I'll show a picture of it here. First of all, I want to go on record by saying I would never do that.
No, because I'm sure someone's going to fuck with somebody.
It's at night, too. It's at night.
And grab your raft. I would just shit myself.
Could you imagine watching Jaws while sitting in a fucking inner tube? No way, man. It's not. I'm not doing it.
Nope. But it sounds cool. I'd like to watch, like the scenery of that.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw up some pictures and I'll show you later. So the only other thing I want to say about Jaws is, and this came out maybe a year or so ago too. The Kittner boy who gets eaten. I think he's maybe the second death in the movie. Mm-hmm. There was apparently they had shot that really where it was really vicious, really gory. Remember that picture I showed you? There's a black and white still of Jaws coming out of the water to get this kid. Now that was cut by Spielberg saying, "Wait, this is too much."
Yeah.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
But again, this lends to there was a different idea how this was going to be.
Mm.
And if they started a movie 20 minutes in with something like that, this would not be Jaws. It would be a lot different. But how horrific did that look?
Yeah.
I mean,
even the scene in the movie was pretty rough. With all the blood spraying.
Just you see the blood spraying up.
Coming from a kid, you're just like,
Well, this picture looks literally like you would have been seeing him go into the mouth.
That's too much. That's especially for 1975.
And that's probably why they cut it. Obviously,
nowadays it probably would have happened.
Exactly. So yeah, Jaws, probably an instant classic when it came out. We're still watching it today. I'm gonna be watching it this weekend. So there were 3 sequels, and I'm gonna run these down real quick. I've kind of said this before about Jaws 2. I think it's a really good part 2. If you're gonna watch Jaws this weekend, definitely throw in Jaws 2 right after, because Brody's still the man. Jaws is back. His kids are a little older.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's my argument about Jaws 2. And I may have said this before on the show. I've had multiple conversations with people in the past who we're talking about Jaws, right? Like we would right now, just bullshitting. They talk about scenes from Jaws 2. There's a scene where the helicopter gets drug into the water. The kids were all tied together on those rafts toward the end. They're talking about that. I'm like, oh, well, that's Jaws 2. They're like, no, I've only seen Jaws. It's like, no, you've seen. It's like, so that's why I kind of think you may have also.
Yeah, like I mentioned to you, I don't remember.
You don't remember
scenes,
Jaws
but
2.
You're right. If I watched it, I'd probably
I really think people meld those two together because of how good of a sequel Jaws 2 actually is. It actually holds up and stays together. Now, is it the fucking classic? No, it's not Jaws. Quint's not in it. Hooper's not in it. You know what I mean? So
no, is that based off a book like the first one?
I don't think so. No, I think that was Hollywood. I mean, maybe. I'm not positive on that.
Okay.
Jaws 3. So also Jaws 2 obviously takes place in Amity Island.
Right.
It's very connected to the first one. Jaws 3, SeaWorld in Orlando.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. So the one son, Michael Brody's older now. He played by a young Dennis Quaid, and basically a killer shark enters SeaWorld in Orlando and things run amok. Now,
Wow.
here's the worst part about this movie. Besides it not taking place on Amity Island, it's Jaws 3D
Oh,
in 1983. So if you watch this now, oh my God, horrific, horrific,
yeah.
like
Right
effects.
when you said 3D, I remember
It's
I
horrible.
remember the laughable, shark coming out, and
It literally
looks-
just floats
yeah.
toward toward like your viewpoint,
Yeah,
not moving at all.
Right.
Like it doesn't move its fins. Like
it's horrible.
again, I'll hopefully show you a still of that. So yeah, it's I guess like okay, let's put it this way: if Jaws 3 wasn't Jaws 3, it was just like, hey, Terror at Seaworld. It might be a decent movie actually,
Yeah.
but I don't know. So Jaws 4 actually kind of brings it back. Now Ellen Brody, the wife of Sheriff Brody, she's where is she? Amity? No. Florida? No. The Bahamas. So again, we're not in Amity Island anymore.
Jeez.
Yeah, she is attacked, or another one of her sons is attacked, and she has to defeat Jaws. But here's the thing. Do you know how they kill Jaws in Jaws 4?
Mm-mm.
The way they do it at the end of the video game. So when we were
Oh.
trying to impale Jaws with
Yeah.
our boat, that's taken directly from Jaws' Revenge, Jaws 4.
Hmm.
So really, the game is an adaptation of Jaws 4.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And when
Makes
did
sense.
What year did Jaws 4 come out?
I want to say 87,
That could've
somewhere
been when that
around there.
game came
Yes.
out then,
Yep.
so yeah.
Yep. They were trying to capitalize on that.
Gotcha.
So yeah. Long story short, if you're going to watch Jaws this weekend, watch the first and second one.
Mm-hmm.
If you really love Jaws, which we do, watch 3 and 4 leisurely.
Yeah.
After a few drinks.
Yeah, and if you get further than that, I mean, there's so many other weird
Rip-offs,
movies that
yeah.
have come off. I mean,
Yep.
but I know I recently watched the Meg or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
There's just so many
Oh,
shark
it's
movies,
wild.
but yeah, it always comes down
Sharknadoes and
to yeah, Sharknado. And
Yep,
it's still,
whatever
it's just cheese, but
total.
it all goes back.
Oh,
to the
Deep
Jaws
Blue
movies.
Sea.
Yeah,
That was
actually a good one.
That was actually
Yeah,
okay. Yeah,
that was good.
that was 90s gold right there.
So yeah, I mean, there's so many shark movies, but
Yeah.
it all comes back to
Oh,
the original.
exactly. This has spawned you're right. It spawned so many ripoffs.
Yeah.
That there's no way. There's no way. All right, so we wanted to talk about that film franchise real quick because we love it. Tomorrow on 4th of July, we will be playing Jaws Unleashed. Actually, Joe's going to play it while I laugh at it. So yeah, happy 4th of July weekend.
Yep.
And we'll be seeing you tomorrow. And as always, play hard.